What if the biggest artist of the streaming era wasn't just gaming the charts, but gaming the entire system? Imagine waking up on the first day of 2026 and finding out that the most streamed rapper alive isn't just facing another lawsuit, but a federal RICO case. Not a civil slap on the wrist, not a PR nightmare, a full-scale legal bomb that doesn't just target him, but pulls in streamers, influencers, media personalities, and a gambling company with deep pockets and darker secrets. That's exactly where we are right now. Before we go any further, support me by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. It helps a lot. What you're about to hear isn't gossip. It's not internet conspiracy. It's paperwork. It's allegations laid out line by line, connecting dots that, if even partially true, could permanently alter how music streaming and influence work going forward. This is about how the entire streaming era may have been built on smoke and mirrors. Artists get sued all the time. Contract disputes, royalty arguments, defamation claims, none of that is new. But a federal RICO lawsuit is an entirely different beast. RICO cases are designed to expose patterns of organized behavior, not one bad decision, not one sketchy partnership. They exist to show systems, pipelines, and repeated actions working together toward a single fraudulent goal. That's why this case hits differently. This isn't accusing Drake of one bad deal or one shady promo. It's alleging a coordinated operation involving illegal gambling, money transfers, artificial streaming inflation, bot networks, and influencer amplification, all moving in sync. And once a RICO case starts pulling threads, it doesn't stop at the first name on the page. That's why this is being called one of the most dangerous lawsuits the music industry has ever seen. At the center of this case is an online gambling platform called Stake. According to the lawsuit, Stake wasn't just sponsoring content or paying influencers. It was allegedly operating under the guise of sweepstakes model while functioning as an illegal gambling platform and using celebrity voices to legitimize it. Drake wasn't just a face of the brand. He was allegedly embedded in its ecosystem. The lawsuit claims Stake was used as a financial engine to move money discreetly outside traditional regulatory oversight through features like unlimited tipping systems that allegedly allowed money to be cycled, redistributed, and redirected without transparency. And here's where it gets explosive. That money, according to the filing, wasn't just moving around for fun. It was allegedly used to fund artificial streaming operations, bots, farms, paid engagement campaigns, designed to inflate Drake's numbers across major platforms like Spotify. If that's true, we're not talking about marketing. We're talking about manufactured popularity. This case doesn't stop with Drake. The lawsuit names other high-profile internet figures, including Aiden Ross and platforms associated with DJ Akademiks, accusing them of participating in or benefiting from Stake's tipping system. One of the most eye-opening allegations involves large financial tips exchanged between these figures, money transfers that allegedly funded engagement campaigns and bot operations. One example cited is a $100,000 transfer between Drake and Aiden Ross, followed by a $220,000 luxury car gift shortly before the lawsuit was filed. According to the complaint, these weren't random acts of generosity. They were part of a cycle. Money moving between insiders, funding artificial engagement, then returning as inflated streaming revenue. If that sounds like a pyramid structure, that's because the lawsuit essentially describes it as one. The lawsuit goes deep into how artificial streams allegedly worked. Not just bots pressing play, but calibrated streams designed to fool royalty systems, playlist algorithms, and recommendation engines. The accusation is that these fake streams were injected strategically, timed, distributed, and scaled to make songs appear organically popular. That artificial popularity would then push tracks onto curated playlists, distort charts, divert listener attention away from real artists, increase royalty payouts, and reinforce the illusion of dominance. And once that illusion exists, it feeds itself. More playlists lead to more exposure. More exposure leads to more real streams. And suddenly, fraud becomes indistinguishable from success. Here's the part people aren't fully grasping. Streaming revenue is shared. Artists don't earn in isolation. Platforms pool money and distribute it based on relative performance. That means if one artist is artificially inflating numbers, everyone else gets less. So if the most streamed artist in the world is allegedly cheating the system, that doesn't just boost him, it drains everyone else. Independent artists, mid-level artists, newcomers trying to break through. This lawsuit suggests that entire careers may have been stunted not by lack of talent, but by manipulated math. And that's where this stops being funny and starts becoming devastating. There's an uncomfortable irony buried in all of this. For years, Drake and his circle have accused Kendrick Lamar and others of artificial hype, industry favoritism, and manipulated success. But if these allegations hold weight, those accusations start to look less like observations and more like projections. Because the lawsuit paints a picture where claims of bots, plants, and manipulation weren't warnings. They were confessions disguised as criticism. It raises an unsettling question. Does someone who believes success must be fake simply not understand what real success looks like? This lawsuit forces an unavoidable conversation about value. Drake reportedly signed massive deals, hundreds of millions of dollars, based largely on streaming performance and market dominance. But if those metrics were artificially inflated, what was the real value of his catalog? Were labels paying for music or paying for manipulated data? The situation starts to resemble a scene straight out of The Sopranos. You look around and ask, is any of this real? If inflated numbers were used to justify bigger contracts, renegotiations, and leverage, then the financial foundation of those deals becomes dangerously unstable. There's another uncomfortable truth here. Truly wealthy, stable billionaires don't need to run schemes like this. They don't risk federal charges to juice metrics. So when people insist Drake has unlimited money and no financial pressure, this lawsuit tells a very different story. Because fraud is usually a symptom, not flex. It suggests desperation. It suggests dependency on illusion. It suggests a house of cards being held together by numbers that can't survive scrutiny. If even part of this case holds up, labels are in trouble. Imagine Universal Music Group discovering their highest paid artist inflated the very metrics used to justify his paycheck. That forces audits, investigations, renegotiations, and tighter contracts for everyone else. The fallout wouldn't punish just one artist. It would lower trust across the board, giving labels more power and artists less leverage. Ironically, the person who benefits least from this in the long run is every other musician. For years, the industry chose analytics over artistry, streams over substance, charts over culture, data over depth. And this lawsuit exposes the logical end of that mindset. When numbers become the only measure of success, people will inevitably try to cheat them. And when the biggest name in the system allegedly does exactly that, the illusion collapses. This isn't just Drake facing consequences. This is the industry being confronted with its own reflection. RICO cases don't shrink. They expand. And whether this ends in convictions, settlements, or industry reform, one thing is clear. The streaming era will never look the same again. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think this lawsuit really means? Do you believe these allegations hold weight? And if they do, how far do you think the fallout goes? Remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And as always, stay active.